So I just did a video. It's amazing how this stuff works. Marvel, I just did a video about how Deadpool and Wolverine would not save the MCU. And I went into details about why it won't save the MCU and about how the only reason why we got Deadpool and Wolverine, and the only reason why it was rated R, was because of Bob Chapek being in charge and greenlighting it. And they were already in the middle of shooting it when they went back into, COVID happened and all this mess happened. Um, and pretty much they to prevent, I don't think Marvel is going to be like a dude like a DC is and just scrap a film after it's already done for tax purposes. Even though in that video that I recorded that I've now will never see the light of day, I'm glad I didn't upload it. I suggested that maybe they should take Captain America 4 and go the way of Batgirl with it. But after this San Diego Comic Con panel, man, Marvel is back all of a sudden. Did Kevin Feige go? Man, I got to get back to my roots. I got to get back to what works because they brung out the Marvel panel, and I was reading updates because you can't watch the Marvel panel. I wish that they would just let us watch this stuff. It's gonna leak out anyway. Everybody's there. You'll see it in the clip I'm gonna show you. Um, Everybody's there with their phones. Everybody's capturing this stuff on video. There is no hiding this stuff from the rest of the world. You can prevent it from leaking on YouTube, like the trailers and stuff. But anyway, they bring out the cast of Captain America. They bring out Giancarlo Esposito. He is playing Sidewinder and he's the quote unquote king of the Serpent Society. And we find out too um, that Anthony Mackie's character, Falcon, he's still Falcon to me, is not going to take the super soldier serum, and that the whole plot of the movie is that these different nations are trying to get their hands on the big sentinel or the big celestial that has been sticking out of the ground ever since Eternals came out. Which I didn't mind Eternals, honestly. I'm curious to see where they're going to go with it with the brother of Phantos and Star Fox, I think he is. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the Eternals. It's been a while since I've read anything about it. But anyway, um, and we get Harrison Ford came out, and the whole cast came out and did their usual spiel about how much fun it is to film, and you are all gonna like the movie. Blah 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 blah. And then they showed apparently a clip of Harrison Ford giving a speech in front of the White House and turning into the Red Hulk, which even in that video that I now scrapped, I talked about how we knew about Red Hulk. We already knew about him. We knew about him 3 months ago when McDonald's released the Happy Meal toys because the movie was supposed to come out this year, but it was so bad and screened so awfully at test screenings that they went and reshot about 90% of the movie, from what I'm told. Um, the fact that the Serpent Society is still in it, I had heard that they had scrapped all of the Seth Rollins stuff, so we might see a little bit of that in the end. Maybe they brung him back to shoot a post-credit scene. I don't know. Um, so he's not playing George Washington Bridge, or is he? Um, but he says he's playing Sidewinder and they're all trying. The point of it is they're all trying to get to that celestial that is up out of the ground at the North Pole or whatever. They're all trying to get to that celestial because they now know that it has adamantium in it. And everybody's like, adamantium makes its first appearance in the MCU. Well, no, adamantium made its first appearance in the MCU this past weekend with Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's get that straight right now. Then we moved on to the Thunderbolts. And the Thunderbolts, you had all the cast coming out there. The guy who played the Russian version of Captain America, he was in full costume. And they showed apparently some stunt work about that. Julia Louis Dreyfus said she did some of her own stunts, she's amazing. Florence Pugh, oh how I've missed you. Anytime we get to look at Florence Pugh, it's a good day. Um, and then you had the cast of that coming out. Now I did not expect Taskmaster to. I need to go back and watch Black Widow. Ugh, that's a chore in and of itself. But I need to go back and watch Black Widow because I thought Taskmaster died at the end of that movie. Um, Apparently not. Apparently the Taskmaster is a part of the Thunderbolts, and the Thunderbolts has an asterisk at the end of the title. Um, what's that all about? We'll find out. I'm assuming once the movie gets here. That movie is coming out in May of next year. Um, so they have Captain America coming out in April. That is coming out in May, and apparently those are the only two Marvel things that they are releasing next year. Um, they had, I think they may have gotten the message because during this panel they did not talk about Disney fucking Plus, not once. Excuse the language, but they did not talk about anything coming to Disney Plus. We didn't get anything about Daredevil Born Again, which okay. We didn't get anything about Blade, which they've been there's a rumor that the Blade um the release date for Blade has been pushed back yet again. I don't even know if that movie has started shooting or not. I don't follow this stuff on the regular like Everything Always or War Stew or any of those guys do. I have better things to do with my time than sitting in front of a computer refreshing Daniel RPK's Twitter all day. Um, yeah, I went there. Let's see what else. We then moved on to the Fantastic Four, and we got Fantastic Four First Steps is what this movie is going to be called. They said at first the cast wasn't there, that they were in London. Then, okay, all of a sudden the cast was there. They said Galactus was shown peering through a building that they had. They had like a 1960s New York City cityscape on there. And that Galactus at one point was shown peering through a building. They had the Fantastic Car there. For those who don't know, I wasn't born until 1985, but during the 60s, there was all these rumors about one day. That was when the rumors really started of one day automobiles we're going to have the flying car. And that's what they imagined the flying car was going to look like. If you ever seen the Jetsons, that is what they thought we would have by now back in the 60s and 70s. So I'm excited for it. I'm not a fan of Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, um, because Pascal has now turned into the oh man, what's his name? What is his name? Idris Elba. It's like, oh, if you need a black guy for a movie, Idris Elba. If you need a Latino guy for a movie now, it's Pedro Pascal or Pedro Pascal. Just go to Pedro Pascal. Everybody wants to give Pedro Pascal everything, guys. He's not that good. Okay, in my opinion, he's not that great. Um, he was okay in The Last of Us. Not who I would have chosen for somebody like a Joel. But anyway, um, so that was the Fantastic Four. And then, just when you thought it was over, we got, um, they brung out, so a little backstory for those who don't know. When they announced these two phases, when they announced the multiverse saga, as this is called, um, they announced Avengers 5 and 6. And Avengers 5 and 6 5 was going to be called the Kang Dynasty. 6 was going to be called Secret Wars. In the comic books, it is Doctor Doom who is behind the whole Secret War thing. Go look it up. Comics Explained does a damn good video about it. But it's Doctor Doom at the center of it all. Well, when they announced Secret Wars, they announced number 5 is going to be Kang Dynasty. And Kang the Conqueror was going to be at the center of this because, DEI and, we can't have a white dude in there, as the lead. Anyway, I won't go into that. That whole video that will not be released now is how Marvel screwed themselves by going woke. Um, that's why that Young Avengers movie is now or new movie, TV show, whatever it is. Thank God it is now scrapped. And I think that was the point of which when we got them saying, okay, we got to fix this. Jonathan Majors getting convicted of whatever he was convicted of when it came to that woman. That right there was like the butterfly effect, the start of the butterfly effect for all of this. And thank God it happened. Um, thank God. I mean, I'm not going to say thank God he was found guilty of it and whatever. I mean, that's his business. It's none of our business. But thank God for the butterfly effect that came from it. Because now they have scrapped Kang the Conqueror. Loki season 2 is now better because of all this. Um, I think that this makes Loki season 2 make a little bit more sense. I actually liked Loki season 1 and 2. Um, I tolerated WandaVision until we got Frank, Bob, whatever, something Boner. Frank Boner, Bob Boner, whatever his name was, showed up, and I'm like, oh, come on. Anyway, um, so fast forward till now. They bring the Russo brothers, who directed Infinity War and Endgame, back up on the stage. I believe they also directed The Winter Soldier, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. They bring them two up on stage because, again, for those who don't know, these two Avengers movies, especially Kang Dynasty, has been through. They've had at least 4 different directors, to my knowledge, quote unquote, assigned to this. And then, oh, we find out that this director's off the project. And that director's off the project. Then, so now they have directors. They can't go back on this. It's the Russo brothers, and they're directing these 2 movies. And they say that the Fantastic Four will be in these 2 movies. And then the big switcheroo happens, and that it's no longer called Kang Dynasty. It is Avengers Doomsday. Yes, all is right with the world of Marvel. I said a long time ago I didn't think they should pivot away from it because I did like the Kang. I do like the idea of Kang the Conqueror, but once you kicked his ass twice in 2 different movies, first in Marvel, once you've beat him in Loki, and then you beat him again in Ant-Man, it's kind of hard to take him seriously. So, with the Jonathan Majors conviction, with the whole thing of Loki, they just obliterated it, man. They really did obliterate it. Now you have all these Kangs still out there, or do we? They can totally say nothing to see over here, put them away, Kang's gone. They could still go that route. Um, but then they bring out a bunch of people dressed as Doctor Doom with the Doctor Doom mask, if you will. And up until now, I'm like, okay, yay, good. But this, they haven't give us something else. Give us one big holy crap reveal. And then this happens. was our holy crap moment. Oh, just when you thought, just when you thought they were putting him out the pasture, this Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom. Are we gonna get a Tony Stark turned evil? You know, this is nuts. How are they gonna do this? I'm glad he's back. He looks evil as hell. He looks great in that clip, and everybody's all excited. I'm excited. I did not want these two to leave because they got to bring back Chris Evans now. They got to bring back Chris Evans, and obviously they're not going to be 616 Robert Downey Jr. and 616 Chris Evans. They're going to be some other universes, and I'm okay with that. My biggest problem with the multiverse thing so far is that none of these variants really mean anything. None of these variants, I mean, especially in Doctor Strange, none of these variants really meant anything. Now with Deadpool and Wolverine getting pulled in, um, and then you have Laura from X-23. She's in. Now we're starting to pull appear stuff. Fantastic Four is obviously going to come from another universe. It's all going to come together. It's sad that it took them this long to do it, to wake up and realize that what they were doing before was not working. The DEI, all female girl power stuff, that's all well and good. But when you make that the focal point, when you shove it down people's throats, it's not working. And they had to course correct. And tonight, with the last 3 days with Deadpool and Wolverine releasing, along with this, is their way of going, U-turn. U-turn, let's course correct. And I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they did it. That's all for me, folks. I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm sorry I have not released videos lately. I was on vacation last week, and now getting back into the groove of the job this week has taken a toll on me. But I'm back. I'm going to be doing videos. SummerSlam is next week. For my WWE audience, SummerSlam's next week. But again, we try to do different things on this channel. I try to take you from pillar to post, from comics, or from the MCU to comic book movies to other movies to wrestling to video games, all this crazy stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you down the road.